Hello everyone and welcome back to Genie Crafts. As promised in the last video, in today's video we are going to see how we can create the template for these kind of topographical layered arts using Blender and Pepakura. So in the first part of the video we are going to see how we can create the 3D model for these kind of arts in Blender and then how we can convert it into a 2D template in Pepakura. So let's get started. So to start with, open Blender, which is a free open source 3D modeling software available for Windows and Mac. When you open, on the default 3D viewport, select everything by pressing A and then press X to delete everything and select delete. Next, using the file menu, import the 3D model for which you want to generate the layer template. It would be better if you choose a .stl type of 3D object, and also the object should be as high poly as possible. The more high poly the model, the smoother the template would be. Now the next step is to slice this 3D model into different layers, and for that we are going to add a simple plane by pressing Shift A, opening the addition menu and selecting the plane. Also, before we proceed any further, we are going to set the metric units for this entire 3D scene in millimeters. So use that scene section and set the units in millimeter because the gap between the layers is going to be in millimeters. Once you have added the plane, then scale the plane up and down using the S shortcut to scale and ensure that the model is completely encased inside the boundaries of the plane. You can always adjust it later also if required. Now, depending upon whether you want the slicing of the model to be horizontal or vertical, you can change the orientation of the plane. Since I want it vertical, I'll rotate it 90 degree along X-axis using the R shortcut. Next, keeping the plane selected, go into the modifier section and select the modifier array, which will be used to create a equally spaced group of planes so that I can slice my model into equal distances. Uncheck the relative option and check the constant offset option, and under the Z axis put some value, for example 20 mm or 10 mm or whatever distance you want the slices to be from each other. That is completely up to you. The higher this value would be, the lesser number of slices would be in your 3D objects. Next, select the 3D object for which you want to create the slice and add the modifier boolean. This we are going to utilize to create an intersection between these planes and the modifier. So select the intersection option from the drop down and then click on that dropper and select the plane object. Now what this will do is that it will get rid of the entire 3D object, and whatever area of the 3D object was intersecting with the plane, only the outline of that area will come in the form of a plane, and rest everything of the 3D object and the plane will be lost. So as you can see on the screen right now, the entire 3D object is now divided into individual planes. All planes are equidistant from each other, and this is what we want to create our layered paper craft. We want planes that are equidistant from each other and are tracing the outline of your 3D model at the point of intersection. Once you are done with this, you can get rid of the plane. You can right click on it and delete it, because we are only interested in the outline 3D model that we have sliced and created in the form of layers. Inspect the model from all the angles, and if you are happy with it, then all you need to do is to go to the file menu and then select the export option and export it in the form of a STL file. Now that we have created the layered topographical 3D model, next step is to create its template in Pepakura so that you can take a printout of the template, cut out the layers and start assembling them. By the way, Pepakura is a paid software, as I've also told in many of my previous videos. So drag and drop the 3D model on the Pepakura, select the front and the bottom side. You can flip or no flip, it does not matter, because half of the model will always be in the flipped state, so it doesn't really make a difference. Select all these options default, and once the size option comes, carefully check the size of your 3D model in the Blender software. Whatever size is in the millimeters under the height, depth and the width section of that 3D model information, put the exact same value here so that you get the exact same model dimensions in Pepakura also. So the ones that you see in white is the non-flipped side of your model, and the ones that you see on the gray on the other side or the back side of the model is the flipped section of the model. So this is the flipped section of the model. As you can see that just like in Blender, the Pepakura also renders all the surfaces as completely flat. You won't see any lines like the lines of the faces or the edges. The only edges you are seeing are the outline of that model. So there is no point in doing any cut line edges or anything. Simply click unfold and let Pepakura do its magic and create the separate layers. For majority of the layers you will get exact same outline of the layers, but there will be some layers which will be divided and it can't be helped. There will always be some layers which will be divided, so ignore those for now. I'll show you how to join those layers within Pepakura, group them within Pepakura. Select all the layers on the right hand working space, drag them down a little bit, because now we need to arrange the layers in a sequence so that when you are cutting the layers and when you are trying to assemble them, you know the sequence in which you need to assemble the layers. But before that, you have to ensure that the biggest layer in your entire model is able to fit on one A4 size paper, given you are taking printout on A4 size. If you are taking printout on A3 size, then the biggest piece in your model should fit on a single page. So if it is not fitting, then you can scale down the model from the settings menu, or you can press Ctrl J to fit the model in a single page. Once it is done, then we can start arranging the pieces in a sequence. So select the first piece from the left hand side, the corresponding piece will get highlighted on the right hand side, and then you can start arranging them in a sequence, and also give them part numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. You can press Ctrl T to activate the text option, or you can also click on that T icon on the menu to activate the text option. Once you have that activated, you can click wherever you want to put the part number and then put the part number in the open dialog box and press OK to commit that part number. Now when I have clicked on this particular piece, you can see that the entire face did not get selected. Only half of the face got selected. As you can see on the right hand side also, it's not a complete heart shape, it's just half the shape. So now we are going to place that half the shape, and then we are going to click on the other half, all the pieces of that particular layer, bring them together and closely assemble it by rotating it and aligning it with each other. And once they are in the perfect alignment, we are going to select all three pieces and press Ctrl G to convert three separate pieces into a single piece. It is important that you align these parts carefully and perfectly so that the shape is exactly same as it should have been had these parts not been divided by the Blender software or by the Pepakura software. So be careful when you are aligning the parts. You can enlarge it or zoom in as much as you like to ensure that you are aligning it properly. Once you have grouped the parts for Pepakura, they will act as a single part. So when you try to move them, they will all move together and not separately. Also, you can right click and ungroup it if you feel that the parts have not been aligned correctly, and you can group them again. So keep following this process for the parts which are whole and for the parts which are divided. Follow the process that I have just explained and keep arranging the parts on the different pages on the right hand working space until you have arranged all the parts and numbered all of them. Also on the screen you will see there are some small parts, like they are so small that even if you don't put them anywhere, it doesn't really make a difference, because unlike a low poly template, here finesse is not the purpose. Here the purpose is to get the outline of the layers. So even if you have some part missing here and there, but you're still able to get the outline of the layer, it will serve the purpose. So you can club all those spare small parts together at the last page of your template and ignore them during the printout. Once you are done arranging the parts, you can switch off the colors from the faces unless you are trying to make a multicolor layered topographical art. Then go to the file menu and from there select the option print to PDF and create a PDF template for this 3D topographical layered art. Once the PDF is generated, open the PDF and see if all the layers have been correctly captured and none of them are getting cut by the border on any of the page. Check all that and ensure that all the pages are in order, all the layers are in order, and now your template is ready to go and create this beautiful topographical layered heart or the topographical dog that I showed in my last video. I hope you guys found this video useful and enjoyed it. If you guys liked it, then please do not forget to hit the like button and share this video with your friends. Also do subscribe to my channel for regular videos on different forms of paper arts, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Till then, stay safe, take care, and bye bye.